and let there be no mistakes about it, whoever governs Singapore must have that iron in him, or give it up. This is not a game of cards. This is your life and mine. I spent a whole lifetime building this. And as long as I'm in charge, nobody's going to knock it down.
Once a colony owned by Great Britain for more than a century, and even occupied by Japan for 3 brutal years during World War II, Singapore's early history is a tale of struggle and survival. The future of Singapore seemed bleak, trapped in the shadow of foreign domination. But out of the ashes of hardship, an incredible transformation was about to unfold.
The Diary of Money.
In the 1950s, do you know what the GDP of Singapore was?
No.
It was the same as the GDP of Jamaica. And then you fast forward 70 years and you understand what good governance looks like.
We actually were talking about Singapore yesterday, how extraordinarily efficient their recycling program is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really amazing what they do. They really recycle. They recycle how we think we're recycling.
Right.
They really do. They really separate the plastic. They break it up. They use it to make power. They use it to make road materials. They make building materials out of it. They reuse everything.
Well, they were thrust into a spit of land with no natural resources. They had to become incredibly well-educated and industrious. And so, Lee Kuan Yew was able to create the right incentives for government to do a good job. They pay their civil servants incredibly well, but then also for private industry to show up and do the rest. And it works incredibly.
After independence in 1965, Singapore faced enormous challenges. Its path to becoming a global success story began under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's first prime minister, who led the country from 1959 to 1990. Lee's government enacted a series of strategic policies that laid the foundation for the nation's rise.
I am calculating not in terms of the next election. That's no trouble. 68, no trouble. I am calculating in terms of the next generation, in terms of the next 100 years, in terms of eternity. And believe you me, the next 1,000 years, we will be here. I won't be here, but people like me and like my friends here tonight will be here. Recognizable, identifiable, 1,000 years from hence. And it is people who calculate and think in those terms that deserve to survive.
Lacking natural resources, Singapore had to create wealth through trade and industry. Lee's government focused on attracting foreign direct investment, turning Singapore into a manufacturing hub. The government invited multinational corporations to establish operations in Singapore by offering tax incentives and political stability. Singapore leveraged its strategic location along key shipping routes to become one of the busiest and most efficient ports in the world. The Port of Singapore became the engine for trade, shipping, and logistics growth. Understanding that its only resource was its people, Singapore invested heavily in education. The government implemented a rigorous education system focused on developing technical and vocational skills, producing a highly skilled workforce. Lee Kuan Yew introduced the policy of bilingualism, where students were required to learn both English and their mother tongue. English became the main language for business and global commerce, giving Singapore a competitive edge in international markets. The People's Action Party, led by Lee Kuan Yew, built a political system based on meritocracy, pragmatism, and efficiency. While Singapore has been criticized for its lack of political freedoms, its political stability has been a key factor in attracting foreign investments. Singapore quickly positioned itself as a global financial hub, thanks to strong regulation, political stability, and favorable business conditions. It attracted international banks, insurance companies, and asset management firms, making Singapore a center for global finance in Asia. By the 1990s, Singapore had transformed from a struggling, resource-poor island into one of the world's most prosperous countries, often compared to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong and Singapore have been hailed as among the wealthiest cities in the world by Hamley and Partners, but the immigration consultancy firm also notes a decline in Hong Kong's millionaire ranks as wealthy expats leave for Singapore. For more on this, let's bring in our wealth reporter, Claire Ballantyne in Hong Kong. Claire, Hong Kong's loss, Singapore's gain.
Yes, we've seen some millionaires move away from Hong Kong and into Singapore. So that's affected the rankings in this latest wealth survey. So that's kind of been the trend. In the past 10 years, Hong Kong's number of millionaires has decreased 4%, while at the same time, we've seen Singapore's number of millionaires really increase. So it sort of speaks to this trend and this rivalry between the two cities and seeing how people are departing Hong Kong.
In recent years, Singapore has become a magnet for the wealthy and ultra-high net worth individuals. The city-state's appeal to the world's elite goes beyond its economic prosperity. It also offers favorable tax policies, high quality of life, and world-class infrastructure. As a result, Singapore has positioned itself as a preferred destination for the rich, whether they are looking to relocate, invest, or safeguard their wealth. Singapore's progressive personal income tax system also offers relatively low rates, with the highest tax bracket set at 22%, far lower than in many developed countries. In comparison, countries like the United States, Canada, and France have significantly higher top tax rates, which can exceed 50% in some cases. Singapore's strategic position in Asia, particularly as China's economic influence grows, makes it an ideal base for those looking to tap into the region's economic growth. Many wealthy individuals from China and other parts of Asia have moved to Singapore to benefit from its proximity to key Asian markets, while enjoying the legal protections and security of a Western-style economy. Singapore's rise from a colonial trading post to a global economic powerhouse is a story of visionary leadership, strategic planning, and a deep commitment to developing human capital. In just a few decades, Singapore transformed from a resource-poor island into a thriving hub of commerce, finance, and technology. Its emphasis on good governance, education, and infrastructure has made it a model for other nations, seeking to achieve rapid development despite limited natural resources. Today, Singapore stands as a testament to what can be achieved with determination, long-term vision, and the right policies.